We're live? Okay. All right. Okay, everyone, welcome to the Albany Common Council's Council Operations and Ethics Committee meeting. I'm the chair, Kelly Kimbrough. Today's Monday, November 3rd. We'll be taking up, or the topic of discussion will be Ordinance 2195-25 by Mr. Conti, and public comment will be allowed, although it looks like we don't have anyone here for public comment. So with that, I'd like to mention committee members Conti, Hoey, Mr. Robinson, you're on our committee, right? And Mr. Robinson, our president, along with myself. So we'll open up with Mr. Conti speaking on the ordinance.
Yeah, sure. So this is really just a cleanup. The policy documents repository was enacted in 2005. I was the sponsor, as my idea. Back then, the idea was to create a registry or a repository within the city clerk's office, who would compile all department administrative rules and regulations. Those are the items that they're not in the code book, but they're the department's policies on how they implement various procedures, et cetera. In fact, you know, they probably envisioned that the clerk was going to maintain a big binder with all these paper copies of the, you know, back then in 2005. It was never implemented. The clerk at the time, John Marcellet, did make an attempt, but then nobody quite knew what should go in or shouldn't go in. So it was never implemented. Probably makes, you know, and if you try to do this today, if you put it online or whatever, it would be a lot of additional work for the clerk. And it just doesn't, you know, it's not that needed. It was a nice idea. So it's really, I think, having some of these obsolete things on the books sometimes confuses people. I understand someone actually foiled, I just heard from Rob, that someone actually foiled for documents in the PDR recently, and of course, it doesn't exist. So this would clean it up and just get it off the books. That's basically a nice idea, but didn't work out. Let's wipe it out.
Thank you, Ms. Conti. Any of the other committee members have questions, comments? No? Okay, if not, we would take public comment, but we don't have any public commenters here. So with that being said, I would entertain a motion to move forward with moving this out of committee with a positive recommendation to the full council.
I would move.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Taking care of that. So I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, Mr. Robinson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Committee meeting adjourned. Started? Oh, well, actually, we need a president, so that's, hold on. am I doing? No, they do that for him. Okay, all right. All right, let's get started. Welcome everyone to the caucus and work session of the Albany Common Council. It's our caucus and work session prior to our regular meeting. Today is Monday, November 3rd. Mr. Jimenez, please call the roll.
Adams. Anane. Ballerin.
Here.
Clark. Conti.
Here.
Farrell.
Here.
Flynn.
Here.
Frederick.
Here.
Hoey.
Here.
Johnson.
Present.
Keegan.
Here.
Kimbrough.
Here.
Love.
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
And Zamer. Zamer's absent today. That's 12 total. We're also joined by City Clerk Shaniqua Jackson, Corporation Counsel Robert McGee, Research Counsel Robert Wenner, Legislative Director Brian Jimenez, Junior Policy Analyst Alyssa Kamara, and Junior Legislative Aide Carly Johnson.
Thank you. Okay. Jumping right into the agenda. Under minutes from a previous meeting, I'll be offering the October 9th, 2025 meeting minutes as well as the October 20th, 2025 meeting minutes for approval. Then next on to local laws on the agenda. We'll have local law E of 2025 by Mr. Conti for introduction. The local law amending the charter in relation to requiring a mid-year update of the annual financial plan. There'll be referral to the council's finance committee. And next, also by Mr. Conti, under local laws held, it's local law B of 2025. So local law amending the charter of the city of Albany by adding a new article entitled Civic Inclusion and Rights Protection. We will be voting on that. Then next, on to ordinances introduced. Ordinance 61, 11125 by Mr. Ballerin. It's for introduction only. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 375, the USD amendment in relation to parking lots in MU FM zoning districts. Referral to planning. And next, under ordinances held, Mr. Conti's 34125. It's ordinance relating to cabarets in relation to updating the city's entertainment licensing provisions. We'll be voting on that. Then next on to ordinance 219125 by Mr. Conti. It's an ordinance repealing Chapter 75. It's a policy document repository of the City Code of Albany. It just
Kelly, we also have ordinance Frederick 138125. That is the bonding one that we need to vote on.
okay. I thought we were skipping that.
The other ones they pulled off, but this one was the one that DGS, it's not on the bonds for this upcoming budget. It's to amend a bond that we voted on in 2023.
Okay. I just crossed it out. So we'll be taking up ordinance 138125 by Ms. Frederick and voting on that. Then I did 21 by Mr. Conti, came out of committee a short time ago with a positive recommendation. So we'll be voting on that. Then next, by Councilmember Johnson, it's ordinance 229225, ordinance authorizing the sale of 27 Alexander Street to Rosemary Quisby. We'll be voting on that. Next, by Councilmember Frederick, ordinance 60-10225. It's ordinance amending ordinance 107125, which authorized the sale was just updating some addresses and changing them. We talked about this at Caucus. We'll be voting on that. Then next on to resolutions introduced.
Sorry, just I believe 60-102-25 needs to be, or have the committee discharged from further consideration, or from further considering that ordinance.
Now, which ones?
60-102-25,
Okay, yeah.
because I believe that was still in finance.
Right, that was the request of, okay. Be discharged before voting. The next resolutions introduced, Ms. Keegan, Resolution 126, 11125. It's a resolution of the Common Council in recognition of Native American Heritage Month. We're all co-sponsors, and we'll be voting on that. The next is resolution by Mr. Flynn, 127, 11125R. Resolution of the Common Council recognizing November 2025 as Epilepsy Awareness Month. All co-sponsors will be voting on that. Next, by Council Member Frederick for introductions, Resolution 128, 11125. It's a resolution of council reappointing Francis Cosgrove as a member of the Board Assessment Review. It's referral to Finance, Planning, Finance. Next, we have 129, 111, 25R by Mr. Ballerin's resolution of Common Council reappointing Gabriela Cepeda Mora as member of Sustainability Commission. That'll be referral to Planning. Next, also by Mr. Ballerin, resolution of the Common Council reappointing Jody Schmitz Anderson as a member of the Sustainability Commission. Another referral to the Planning Committee. And then lastly, by Mr. Clark, Resolution 121, 101, 25R. It's the resolution in relation to the eminent domain of the properties on Rapp Road. And resolution.
Quick question, and maybe we talked about it last week, but I forgot. The amended, what was the amendment on this? On the,
The date's being amended to December 1st for the public hearing.
Okay.
It's like the last paragraph, I think, in the resolution, or one of the
someplace.
next. Do you see it? December 1st. It's now be it resolved. The public hearing scheduled on December 1st.
All right, it's just a date change, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, that was at the request of Corporation Council.
And if Mr. Clark isn't here, Mr. Ballerin, can you handle that for me? Yep. Oh, okay, eminent domain, okay. Okay, yep. The date's got to be amended, and then we'll vote on it. And that is it for the agenda. Still have some time. Members have anything they want to talk about? If not, well, don't go too far, and we'll start up in 10 minutes.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Albany Common Council meeting November the 3rd, 2025 to order. Can the clerk please call the roll?
Adams. Anani.
Present.
Valorant.
Here.
Clark. Conti. Farrell.
Here.
Flynn.
Present.
Frederick.
Here.
Hoey.
Here.
Johnson.
Present.
Keegan.
Here.
Kimbrough.
Here.
Love.
Here.
Robinson. Zamer. 13 present, 2 absent.
Thank you. And can you please rise with me and say the national anthem, Pledge Allegiance. And then after the Pledge Allegiance, we'll have a moment of silence.
Oh, say it.
So we're good. We're now moving on to public comment period. Public comment period, you have 5 minutes to speak upon any issue you wish. When you come to the table, just state your name. You don't have to state your address, but state the city or town or village that you reside in. The light will go red, green, means go. When you see it yellow, that means you have 1 minute remaining for your remarks. And red means stop, conclude your remarks. At that time, the council members cannot answer or comment on your public comments. If they choose to answer or comment on your public statements, they will do so at a later time in the agenda. So with that being said, can the clerk please call the first speaker?
Brenda Harris.
I guess this means go. Hello.
State your name
Hi,
and
everybody. I would like to foremost just appreciate you guys for being here and having us to speak. It's an honor. This is my first time, so hello.
yes, just state your name and city.
My name is Brenda Williams. This is my pastor, Janet Harris. We're here today to speak on our church in the community of Albany, New York, 142nd Street. And we're here to try to find out some information on how we can get help or try to further getting our assistance to repair our church. So the church is a history, but it was established in 1979 by Pastor Reverend Harris, and now we are here trying to get help or trying to get some answers on how we can rehabilitate it. That is why we're here. And it's been in my family for a very long time, over 30-some years. And it was under the mission of Pastor Wallace at one time, but now it's under the heading of Pastor Janet, and that's what we're here for. You want to say something?
As Minister Brenda was saying, the church has been in the family because Pastor Reverend Harris was her father, and he was the founder of the church. And although there is a lot of grant money available for residential, there's not so much available for commercial. We're seeking help for emergency funds if possible, because the church is in need of repairs. It's been, when Reverend Harris had it, he tried to do little repairs as he could. But now we're in a kind of like a major situation. We've been under code. Me and my husband show up monthly or every other month to try to let the courts know where we stand. But as you know, when you have
when COVID hit it.
Yes, and COVID as well. That has knocked off membership as well. The church is looking to be repaired so that we can be a light and a help in the community. We have some services that we would like to be able to establish. We're looking to open up our kitchen so that we could meet with coronary students who would be able, are willing to get their name out there and perform a service, as well as help us with more fundraising efforts to help repair the building. Right now, we're seeking funds to at least get the roof on, because without the roof being renovated, it is further damaging the rest of the structure. We have $4,000 that we had already collected. And so we're just seeking, more funds or whatever, or different avenues that we can go in to help at least get the roof established. We are trying the best that we can, and so we're just seeking assistance if possible.
Remember, she ran a soup kitchen. She ran a soup kitchen, and she also gave, during the time of Thanksgiving, she would feed the hungry. So that's why. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Peter Damon. Peter Damon. Marlon Anderson.
Good evening, members of the council, members of the public. My name, of course, is Marlon Anderson, a longtime community advocate in the city of Albany. I reside at 214 Lark Street in the city of Albany. And I've come forward this evening to address and put my support behind the amending of the cabaret law and what needs to be addressed when you're thinking about that, because again, it should be a no-brainer. We have a law that was created as a knee-jerk response to the rise in gun violence in the city of Albany. And the law as it stands has long outlived its purpose. It has become a business killer in the city of Albany. And like most legislation that comes from this place, it's because of the penal and venal wording and crafting of these laws. I mean, if you take out 2 paragraphs of the cabaret law, it becomes a functional and valuable law. Again, the revenue stream that comes from the cabaret law is to be valued and supported. But when the law itself deters revenue from the city, when it drives business away from the city, when it kills business, it's not serving its purpose. It's not creating revenue, it's discouraging revenue. It's destroying revenue. Again, we have a city that has become the national laughingstock of the United States because of the state of its entertainment community, because of the state of its social community. I mean, we went from having the largest festival in the Northeast to having one of the most, beautiful displays of lights for charity in the Northeast, among other things, to what we have now, a giant dog park and a haven for the homeless in the heart of the city. We need leadership on these type of issues. And unfortunately, the leadership has not come from this building. And again, as of tomorrow, a lot of you won't be here. And to be quite frank, a lot of you should not be here. But that was what we need to deal with tomorrow. Tomorrow, quote unquote, change is supposed to begin in this city. But you can start fast track that change tonight by creating that amendment to the cabaret law. Because again, how many businesses are you gonna kill in this city? I mean, you lost the NCAAs because of the state of this community. NCAAs ain't never coming back here anymore for that very reason. And you have to understand that. When you got a city, you're your capital city of New York, and everybody's laughing at you because of the way your capital city stands, it's time for you to take a stand and take action. Again, how many more businesses are we going to lose in this city because of the state of this law? Because of the simple stroke of a pen to remove wording from that law that should not be in that law. Just remove it. That's all you gotta do. It's that simple. What is the problem? What is the difficulty? Why is it so hard to take action that's going to benefit the city of Albany? So again, it's time to change that law. It's outlived its usefulness. It's become a detriment to a city more than an asset as the way it stands. So you need to change this law, you need to amend this law, and save this entertainment community, the arts community, before it's too late. I want to thank you all. Those of you who will not be here after tomorrow, I want to thank you for your service. And those of you that will be here after tomorrow, I hope you spearhead the change that we need in this city, because this city is teetering on the brink. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can the clerk please call the next speaker?
Tabitha Wilson.
I can begin? Good evening. Good evening, members of the Common Council and community. My name is Tabitha Wilson. I'm a resident of Summit Avenue, 7th Ward. I'm here tonight because I care deeply about this city and the people in it. I also come with personal experience. Within my own family members, friends, and myself have endured encounters that could border on overzealous, or at least inappropriate in terms of policing, as with all industries or even branches of government. That's why we have a thing called checks and balances. Nevertheless, these experiences were painful and left me with a long-lasting understanding of how critical it is to have real independent oversight when it comes to policing. That's why so many of us in Albany fought for and voted for a stronger independent community police review board, or CPRB. We understood that accountability is not anti-police, it's pro-community. And when the people spoke at the ballot box, we made it clear we wanted the CPRB to have the authority, the autonomy, and the resources to do its job. This vote did not happen in a vacuum. It was part of a national reckoning of policing and justice, one that led to statewide police reform commissions and new laws meant to strengthen oversight. Albany was intended to be a part of that progress. Yet today, it feels like that democratic process is being ignored. I could be mistaken, but it appears City Hall continues to exert undue control over the CPRB's staffing, lawyers, and budget. The very things voters said should be independent. Instead of helping us move toward what the people voted on, we've seen conflict, misinformation, and public disrespect, especially towards minority women in leadership positions who asked for support and received none. This is not what democracy looks like. When the public votes for change, our elected officials have a duty to honor that decision, not to delay or dismantle it. So tonight, I'm asking respectfully but firmly that this council stand with the people of Albany, uphold what we voted for, protect the independence of the CPRB, Assure it can operate free from political interference, not just today, but forever. Because in the end, this is about trust, and when trust is broken between government, police, and the people, we all lose. Let's not let that happen here. And with whatever time I have left, I want to turn our attention to the cabaret law. Every time myself personally needs a space, people are directing me to Schenectady or Troy, which I love. But Albany is my home, and we need our own spaces, venues, etc. It's really impossible, nearly impossible, for Black and Indigenous peoples to open, sustain, and maintain their businesses here. I don't pretend to understand why we need a cabaret law, but it does serve to concentrate poverty, reaffirm redlining, and widen the racial wealth gap, just for your consideration. There's a multitude of Reimagine initiatives, so perhaps we can also reimagine the cabaret law. Thank you.
Can the clerk please call the next speaker?
Peter Damon.
Good evening, City of Albany Common Council members and other city officials present here today. My name is Peter Damon. I'm an attorney at Lemery Chrysler, LLC, and I'm speaking on behalf of my clients. It's Manfred and Mary Ann Simon and the Simon Family Trust. They're the owners of the property commonly known as 502, 504, and 506 Rapp Road, Albany, New York, with SBL numbers of 41.00-2-114, as well as 41.00-2-115, and 41.00-2-116. Mr. and Ms. Simon currently reside at the property at 506 Rapp Road in the City of Albany. My comments this evening concern Resolution 121.101.25R, which seeks authorization of to schedule a public hearing regarding the City of Albany's proposed acquisition by eminent domain of the Simon properties at 502, 504, and 506 Rapp Road for the construction of a solid waste transfer station. Although the City of Albany has indicated that negotiations with my clients have been ongoing for some time, the truth is that meaningful negotiations about purchasing the property have only begun in approximately April of this year. After several rounds of communications, the city abruptly raised the prospect of eminent domain and is now moving forward with a plan that is aggressive and expedited. The Simons have not been given adequate time to obtain independent appraisals or to review the information underlying the city's decision to target their properties. As a result, they are being forced to negotiate under the threat of condemnation, with a very real possibility that they could lose their homes within months. No property owner should have to negotiate with what feels like a gun to their head. These parcels have been in the Simon family since the 1950s, long before the landfill on Rapp Road existed. In 1951, Mr. Simon, Manfred Simon's parents, and his aunt and uncle acquired the property and built their family homes. They were German immigrants that came here shortly after World War II. In the 1980s, the family subdivided the property and Mr. and Ms. Simon constructed their family home on what is now 506 Rapp Road in 1984. The Simon family has lived on and maintained these properties for more than 70 years, building their lives and raising their families there. Since the landfill's opening in the 1970s, the Simons have never filed a complaint about its operation, despite the obvious challenges that come with living nearby. They have fully cooperated with the city over the decades and have remained open and responsive through multiple expansions of the landfill and during recent purchase discussions. The family even entered into a right of first refusal agreement with the city, which remains in effect until the end of this year, as a gesture of good faith and their willingness to continue to work with the city. Now, after years of cooperation, the city is seeking to remove the last remaining residents on Rapp Road under circumstances that appear rushed and unnecessarily aggressive. The landfill has served the city well for decades, providing substantial public benefit and a fruitful source of income for this city. But the success has come in large part through the patience and understanding of nearby residents like the Simons. They have lived alongside that facility without objection or litigation and have worked constructively with the city officials at every stage. It is therefore deeply concerning that after so many years of cooperation, the city's now moving to take their homes without giving them adequate time to review the city's plans, obtain independent appraisals, or understand the basis for the sudden push for eminent domain. We understand that the landfill must close and that the city must find a way to manage its waste moving forward. However, this process must be fair, transparent, and consistent with the procedural protections afforded under state law. Based on publicly available information, the city plans to spend approximately $25 million to close the landfill and construct a new transfer station. Yet there has been no disclosure of what efforts the city has made to identify or evaluate alternate sites that might serve the same public purpose without displacing long-standing residents. On October 31st of this year, I submitted a FOIL request to the city to obtain planning, environmental review, and site selection process information. Until those records are produced and reviewed, it would be premature for the council to authorize a public hearing for eminent domain. We respectfully request that the council adjourn or table this resolution to allow the Simons time to obtain independent appraisals for their properties and to review the city supporting documentation. These steps will ensure that the process proceeds in a good faith and that all parties have access to the same information before any hearing is scheduled. We believe that this proposed acquisition represents extraordinary circumstances for both the Simons and the City of Albany. It is a unique situation that calls for care, patience, and continued discussion. If the city provides sufficient time and access to...
Your time is up. Thank you so much for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can the clerk please call the next speaker?
Sherry DeCrosta.
Good evening. My name is Cheryl DeCrosta, and I live in the West Hill neighborhood. There are many good people in West Hill who are working hard to change the marginalization and the underrepresentation of what poverty, racism, and 100 years of redlining have wrought, not the least of whom are Ms. Tabora Marcus and the Honorable Jamel Robinson. It is unfortunate that Mr. Kavanaugh and Channel 6 News did not accurately share the message of the citizens of West Hill following our presence at the last Common Council meeting. I'm aware that Ms. Marcus works tirelessly for the people of the City of Albany, overall as the housing services advocate, and for the West Hill neighborhood, more specifically both on nights and weekends, volunteering as the president of the West Hill Neighborhood Association. I'm also aware that Mr. Robinson has worked diligently during his tenure on the council to make improvements in the area, including ensuring that real sidewalks were installed where there was eroding asphalt, the complete renovation and recreation of the Black Lives Matter Park, and the construction of an actual community center, among other things. I express my gratitude to each of you. Additionally, several salient points were omitted by the news story, and I will reiterate some. Developers purchasing land and building within our marginalized neighborhoods with federal and state grant monies and creating housing that promises to be decent, fair, and affordable, and then not living up to those promises. For example, Wind Development's creation of the Philip Livingston Apartments at 315 Northern Boulevard. Residents who are seniors, veterans, and disabled have had to seek advocacy with the United Tenants of Albany, and after many months still have not gotten resolution of their significant concerns. And then regarding a planned 97 units of housing for at-risk veterans adjacent to the Philip Livingston Apartments, a wind development and soldier-on endeavor, I question the wisdom of bringing in more vulnerable individuals when current residents have legitimate concerns that remain unaddressed. Furthermore, the Philip Livingston complex of 103 units does not fulfill what I believe to be Department of Environmental Conservation and Albany County law, the obligation to notify residents and neighbors of upcoming pesticide and herbicide application, but rather they spread poisons without notification, even spreading the poison application on the very lawn where residents grow vegetables in raised beds. And I ask, what kind of care is this for citizens of this building, or the neighborhood, or the city? Furthermore, the removal of trees, the poison applications, the overuse of salt in winter, and other disturbances negatively impact what the city is supposed to be preserving at the Tivoli Lake Preserve, with the emergence of deer from the preserve into the city, as many as 6 at a time in my fenced-in yard, and several onto Livingston Avenue. How is it that we are preserving or protecting either here? The City of Albany needs to hold all of the landlords accountable to meet the needs of existing residents prior to allowing additional gouging of the earth with lack of concern for environmental destruction, and specifically destruction of preserved natural environments, to create more housing. Perhaps the city could redirect proposals for new housing to existing vacant buildings like the College of St. Rose campus. Recent investments in West Hill neighborhood do not make up for the many, many years of disinvestment, especially when the day-to-day needs of residents go unaddressed. We look not just to our city council member, but to each other as residents to voice our concerns, to advocacy from the city's Department of Neighborhood Services, to the entire Albany Common Council, to the City of Albany Planning Board, to the mayor, to Albany officials and the state of New York, the county officials, to acknowledge the reality of past and present neglect and to do everything possible to make up for lost time and resources. Let's address existing issues and existing residents before opening up to the inevitability of more issues. Bringing more vulnerable people into the same space without addressing existing needs and concerns is a recipe for failure. We must cease to act based upon who has the most money or the loudest voice. We must always act for the common good of us all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can the clerk please call the next speaker?
Shirley Clark.
Hello, everyone. This is my first time, so bear with me. I represent the Art Partners to Shire Art and Company program, okay? And what we are, we're a positive influence in the Third Ward area because we deal with investing in youth, in the teens, and we offer dancing. We offer art projects, you know, to educate the young people. We've connected with the school, Hackett School, in dealing with theater, arts, you know, and training. And the beautiful part about it that we're connecting with students in that are going to school, like Albany Medical College, and also at SUNY, where how would you say, dealing with having them come in as mentors and interns to help the young people, you know, be examples and encourage them. We also believe that through the arts, they can express themselves, and at the same time, right now, our children are being lost in some kind of way, and it's very few people have a chance to how would you say, bring their kids in the area because of the environment of drugs and people sleeping, you know, in the area. I know the police have tried to do some to try to straighten out the situation, but we still need some more. We've connected with other departments and programs, and a lot of the parents, because they don't want to, they may want to involve their children in our program, but because of the environment, they, you know, in the area, they are reluctant. But thankfully, we do have some representatives and some students. We've done, how would you say, performances for the festivals, various festivals that have been out through this community, you know, in Albany. I'm new at this, so I just joined, you know what I'm saying? I've joined, but this particular person, Tashia Smith, has been in this area for 30 years, and you probably are familiar with her. And I'm kind of happy in a sense that I joined with her, because in my heart, I want to be with the kids and share, you know, what was done to me when I was growing up, and it made a difference in my life. And that's all I can say is if you send the funding, we definitely need it. Not only that, we will use it wisely. You know, we're a non-profit organization, and it'll also boost the area. I've had a chance to talk to some individuals of different ethnicities, and I was very happy to converse with them. And we also share, like with the dance and dealing with the culture of various persons. That's all I can say.
Thank you, ma'am.
But I mean, I love the place. I love the, all I can say is just consider us and you will not be disappointed. We have intern programs and everything.
Thank you.
And God
Thank you so
bless
much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Can the clerk please call next speaker?
Sharon Mallory.
Good evening, all. My name is Sharon Malloy. There's no R there. But I'm here as a resident on Sherman Street. I have been experiencing large amounts of trash from the top of Sherman Street to the bottom, all the way. But I live in between Quail and North Lake. And on the opposite side of me is markets, restaurants, and stores. And we've been having rats. I called today for codes. Codes passed me off to DGS. DGS passed me back off to codes. I got nowhere. I came here last year and I expressed the same issue. There must be some kind of ordinance for stores to have boxes, food, dumpsters on the resident side. I have pictures that you will not believe, and this is 24/7. It's never clean, never. I got all the addresses for the stores on Central Avenue, and I have all evidence, and it's not getting any better. I am very upset about what happened to me today. I walked out of my house and a rat ran into my flower bed. A rat as big as a cat, and I'm not exaggerating. The trash man was there, and I really need someone to look into this. and get some, I've been everywhere. I've called the business district, I've called everyone. And I'm looking forward to going on and on and on until I get somebody to hear me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It is the final speaker from the public comment period today. So the public comment period is closed. We'll move on to our next items of our agenda, approval of minutes from previous meeting. Mr. Kimbrough.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer the October 9th of 2025 as well as the October 20th of 2025 meeting minutes.
Second.
There's a second on that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Approval of previous minutes passed. Moving on to consideration of local laws. We'll start off with local laws introduced by Mr. Conti.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice the introduction of local law E of 2025.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the local law?
A local law amending the Charter of the City of Albany in relation to requiring a mid-year update to the annual financial plan.
Thank you. Mr. Kimbrough.
Thank you, Mr. President. Referral to the Council's Finance Committee.
Thank you. And continuing on with local laws held. Mr. Conti.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice local law B of 2025 requests its passage and a roll call vote thereon.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the local law?
A local law amending the Charter of the City of Albany by adding a new Article 9 entitled Civil Inclusion and Rights Protection.
Thank you. Discussion on this
Civic inclusion, sorry.
local law. Mr. Conti.
Thank you, Mr. President. This really is a significant piece of legislation, so I really want to talk about it. Local Law B of 2025 proposes to amend the Albany City Charter by adding a new Article 9 entitled Civic Inclusion and Rights Protection. This is not merely a symbolic gesture. It is a structural commitment to equity, dignity, and democratic access for all who call Albany home. This law affirms 4 essential pillars. Let me outline them. 1, declaration of inclusivity. Albany will formally recognize that every resident, regardless of race, ethnicity, national origin, immigration status, religion, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, socioeconomic status, or any other protected characteristics, is entitled to full civic belonging. This declaration sends a clear message: inclusion is not optional, it is foundational. 2, protection against discriminatory action. By aligning city operations with anti-discrimination laws, this article ensures that municipal decisions, services, and public spaces are governed by fairness and legal accountability. 3, affirmative duty to uphold rights. This provision moves us beyond passive compliance. It mandates that city departments proactively uphold inclusivity and equal protection, whether in hiring, public engagement, or service delivery. And 4, enforcement and review. With oversight from the Corporation Council, this article guarantees that future proposals are vetted for consistency with our inclusivity standards. It embeds a mechanism for review and correction, ensuring this law remains a living, enforceable commitment. So why does this matter now? In a time of increasing polarization and civic disengagement, Albany has the opportunity to lead. By codifying inclusion, we protect not only individuals, but the integrity of our institutions. We make it clear that civic participation, whether voting, attending meetings, or accessing services, is a right, not a privilege. This law also strengthens our legal posture. It provides a clear framework for evaluating city actions and policies, reducing ambiguity, and shielding Albany from potential liabilities tied to discrimination or exclusion. So I urge the Council to pass Local Law B, not just as a legal amendment, but as a moral affirmation. Let us be the city that doesn't just speak of equity, but builds it into the very architecture of our governance. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, can the clerk please call the roll?
Adams. Is that yes? No? Yes. Okay. Anani?
Yes.
Valorem?
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Conti?
Yes.
Farrell?
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn?
Yes, co-sponsor.
Frederick?
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey?
Yes, co-sponsor.
Johnson?
Yes.
Keegan?
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough?
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Love?
Yes, co-sponsor.
Robinson? 12 in the affirmative.
Local law passes. Mr. Kimbrough? Pull the rest of them.
Thank you, Mr. President. Rest of the local laws on the agenda are held.
Thank you. Moving on to reports of standing committees. Have none. Mr. Kimbrough?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The Council Operations and Ethics Committee met today to discuss Ordinance 2191-25, and it passed the committee with a positive recommendation, and we'll be voting on it tonight.
Thank you. Ms. Frederick?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met on Monday, October 27th. We discussed the Department of Fire and Emergency Services budget presentation, the Albany Police Department budget presentation. We also went through bonds related to such departments. We met on Thursday, October 30th. We discussed the Albany Water Department presentation, Department of General Services, and the Department of Engineering budget. Similarly, we discussed a number of ordinances related to these departments as well. For this week, we are meeting on Wednesday, November 5th at 6 p.m. to discuss overall budget considerations, as we've now passed our department presentations and are in deliberation mode about next steps or any amendments for the budget. And we're also going to discuss Resolution 126, 111-25R, Resolution 123-101-25R, and Ordinance 60-102-25. Finally, this week we are also meeting on November 6th. We'll just at 5:30 p.m. We will also have general budget conversation. With that, we are also looking to have a discussion on Local Law D of 2025, local law amending the curbside waste collection fee.
Thank you. Mr. Ballard?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Planning Committee will be meeting on November 12th. We'll be trying to handle all of the less controversial issues on that date. And then we're meeting on November 19th to discuss the tutor bill. So those are the 2 dates with planning.
Thank you. Seeing no other reports of standing committees, we'll move on to ordinances. Consideration of ordinances. Ordinance introduced. Mr. Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that ordinance 61.111.25 be introduced.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the ordinance?
An ordinance amending Chapter 375, City of Albany Unified Sustainable Development Ordinance of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to parking lots in MU, FU, FM zoning district.
Thank you. Mr. Kimbrough?
Thank you, Mr. President. To referral to the Council's Planning Committee.
Thank you. That's the only introduced ordinance. Moving on to ordinances held. Mr. Conti.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice ordinance 3.41.25, request passage and a roll call vote thereon.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the ordinance?
An ordinance amending Part 3, cabarets of Chapter 111, amusements of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to updating the city's entertainment licensing provisions.
Thank you. Discussion on this ordinance. Mr. Conti?
Thank you, Mr. President. So this issue has been with us for a long time, this council, and hopefully we can move forward with some reforms tonight. So let me just quickly review what this does. It replaces the existing cabaret law with an accessory entertainment process, permitting process. It makes significant changes to the existing process, addressing the concerns that most of us have heard. Let me quickly review some of the issues here. It moves, first of all, from a 1-year license to a 3-year license with a rolling expiration date. And I think that's real significant right there. It automatically extends by 2 years all existing cabaret licenses, so it conforms with the new 3-year provision. It significantly reduces the number of departments that have to review the application. Currently, there are 5 departments that review: police, buildings, planning, corporation council, and fire. This would eliminate all of those departments with the exception of buildings and police. It eliminates the requirement for a public hearing, which is another complaint of the existing system, but it does maintain the right for public comment within a specified period. It provides that departmental comments need to be provided within 30 days of receipt of the application. It clearly defines those areas that the departments, police and building, are to look at in terms of what review they make, and it's within their areas. Police will look at, public health and safety issues, building, fire safety codes, city code compliance, uniform building code, things of that nature. Any conditions, and this is another important one, any conditions that are placed on an application or recommended for an application, they are required to be in writing, and the reasons for the condition must also be in writing, so it's clear what conditions a department might be recommending. They must be directly related to or incidental to the use, designed to minimize any adverse impact. There are provisions, firm deadlines for the issuance of a license so that a license doesn't, or an application doesn't, sit for a long time without anything happening. If it's not issued within 30 days of receipt, it's a temporary license. That temporary license automatically becomes a permanent license 90 days after. That's the 30 days of review plus the 60 days of temporary. So 90 days after, that temporary license automatically becomes permanent if there's no decisions on it. So it puts a firm deadline on when applications have to be decided. For renewals, it automatically continues existing licenses until a renewal decision is made. It maintains the review process, the appeals process in the BZA. And it also provides any suspension of a license based on violations of the permit or a violation of law upon recommendation of the APD or building, that they are also subject to a hearing, or the licensee is allowed a hearing on any proposed suspensions. It also provides for a transfer of license from an existing licensee in cases of ownership changes, and that was another complaint, so that the license, there is an ability to transfer licenses to new owners. It also exempts certain uses. First of all, small businesses, those of under 50 or under, are exempt from the requirement. It also clearly exempts any what we call ambient music that you might have at a retail establishment, a bar, tavern, cannabis consumption site, restaurants, etc. That is not something that requires a permit or an application. Of course, it exempts churches, fraternal organizations, membership organizations, not-for-profits, etc. So this, we've had a lot of discussion this year on it. This makes significant changes in the existing process. It provides immediate relief to existing businesses and those who wish to seek an application. And the door is open if in the next council there's a desire to look at other revisions or moving more to a land use process. This provides the time to look at that type of a system. Moving to a land use process through zoning is very complicated. It's not something you do with just repeal. There's a lot of other provisions and requirements that go into that. So we have an opportunity by passing this tonight to provide immediate relief, eliminate the red tape, a lot of the, streamline the system, make it a lot easier for applicants to get a license, and doesn't preclude further review by the next council. And if we don't adopt this tonight, then the current system is going to continue. And I don't think that's anything that we want. This might not be what some members want, and I know that we've had that discussion and disagreements, but I don't think there's any doubt that this is a significant improvement over the current system. And from that perspective, I'd really urge members to support this and vote yes on this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Conti. Mr. Adams?
Thank you. That was a very long, detailed legislation update as to what this new accessory entertainment law will be. Part of the problem with this legislation is going back to the original conversation of why we decided to bring up this legislation, which it seems to be forgotten. The issue that we had was the application process and the fact that so many people who have applied for a cabaret license over the years have, one, been discriminately used to have their license denied, suspended, pushed off. The application process itself was a redundant application process that served no purpose. We mentioned that the application process for the cabaret is information that is already provided to necessary departments throughout the city of Albany. Why are we forcing and making business owners participate in a redundant process? But that's not the problem. The problem also was the fact that we were then putting that burden onto our city clerk's office with a small, minimal staff that balances 100 things a day and has 1 million responsibilities. We were trying to alleviate the burden within that office to try to streamline this process to make it easier for business owners. The other part to this conversation is the fact that this legislation that is being proposed tonight does not at all streamline anything. You just heard a 10-minute response as to what this is addressing, and it removes nothing to streamline anything. If you read the language within the legislation, you will see that pretty much every single department that was a part of this process is still a part of the process in some shape or form. In addition, we've added new responsibilities for neighborhood associations to be notified during public comment period. Neighbors and people around the business can now provide opposition to this business going there. This is the problem that business owners are speaking about in terms of doing business in the city of Albany. You have to jump through hoops to be able to conduct basic business. The other part that I have an issue with, again, is the language of this, the multiple definitions that have been added to this law to, again, control the population of people and what's happening. So we have ambient music. Please, if you read that definition, is that any place you would want to go on a Friday night? Low vibes, very low music. You can't do anything. It prohibits dancing. And that's one of the things that throws me off. If we were addressing the music, why is dancing involved? Why are all these things being added in there that has nothing to do with the primary issue if it was public safety or if it was the noise ordinance and volume? None of this addresses any of those issues. So I could go on for a very long time about why this doesn't make sense and why we should not be supporting it. I personally know I would never support this legislation. One, because as Councilmember Conti just mentioned, there's a new council coming in. Why are we passing this legislation when most of us just 3 months ago voted for the repeal? Most of us voted for the repeal. Why would we implement and put something in place and have a new council come in who may not also agree with this legislation just to go through this process again? I say you just let it stay. It's not hurting anybody. It's not like there's a long list of people right now opening up businesses applying for cabarets. The cabaret application fee only generates less than $13,000 a year. We're not losing much revenue. We're not getting much revenue from this. So we might as well leave it how it is until we can get to a position in place where we can agree on proper legislation on how to move forward and actually address the issues that we've been speaking about for these last year and a half. So I'll yield my time.
Any further discussion? Mr. Johnson?
So I'm not going to go long, but I just have a problem with the hands that created this resolution being the hands that's going to fix it. It's like, you know, being bullied by someone and then they say, you don't have to worry about it. I think that for far too long, certain parts of the city voices seem to matter more than other parts of the city. And, you know, as a 57-year-old man, this is the first time in my life that there's no place to go. And it's saddened for me to go and I got to go out of town to be able to enjoy people that look like me and enjoy life like me, and that's a sad state. And a lot of this has to do with the cabaret license, so I will not be supporting it. And I agree to rushing something that is really not addressing the problem. Now, we sit in this body, and every time it comes to something that is for the inner city, and we say, hey, we got to get this right. How come we not taking the same approach here with trying to get it right and not just doing Band-Aid work? Because some of the stuff that I heard is the same exact stuff that has been stopping the city for so long. So again, I will not be supporting it, and I encourage others to do the same. Thank you.
Mr. Ballard?
Thank you, Mr. President. I first want to say I totally understand what my colleagues where they want to see this law repealed. I get it. I get where the sense is, and I look at someone that was looking for a place to dance a couple weekends ago. We don't have many places that we can go dancing, and that's not right. So I get that. I get that 100%. But I also know that there's been work on this for over a year and a half to try to do something better than what we currently have. And what we currently have, I think everyone can agree, is not working. What we currently have has it so that if you get your cabaret in October, so say you got yours last month, and you did a great Halloween party, and you got stuff going on for Thanksgiving and stuff going on for New Year's, well, you better shut that music off at midnight, because our current system, come January 1st, you lose your license. This bill that we have in front of us gives it 3 years. 3 years from when you got the license. So you get 3 years from October to the following October to renew. That is an improvement from where we currently are, okay? And for those businesses that got their license in October, I get their frustration, why they have to go through the process to do it again in January. At a lot of these meetings, a lot of the frustration that we heard was that there's no clarity of how long it takes to get these permits. The law compromise was put in there. The city has 30 days. They have 30 days to say no. After that, you have a temporary permit. And then they have 90 days from that point, or 60 days from that point, to say no. If they don't say no, you've got an automatic permit. So it gives businesses much more clarity when they're trying to apply for these licenses. And more importantly, it gives them the license for 3 years. for 36 months to be able to run their business. So I understand the frustrations that's out there, and I get it, and I do agree that we need to make changes in other parts of our laws to get this to no longer be something that we need, or no longer be something that has so many concerns in our neighborhoods. But I also think what we have in front of us is better than what we currently have on the books. And voting no only keeps it what we currently have. So voting no means that everybody who got their license this year loses it January 1st. Voting yes means they keep it for another 2 years. So think about the amount of more work we're putting on our businesses by voting no. It means everyone who got their license this year, come January 1st at midnight, has to get a new one. By voting yes, you give them an additional 24 months. If they got it in the first week, or you give them X amount of months, give them an additional 2 years from when they got it. It's not perfect. By far, it's not perfect. But it is much more business friendly than what we currently have in the system. So I get it, I understand it, I'm totally for working on the next council. I hope to be here after tomorrow. I do hope to be here after tomorrow so we can work on continuing to try to get this as something that's no longer is needed in our city. But I do think we have something better in front of us than what we currently have on the books. Thank you.
I saw Mr. Conti, because when Mr. Conti speaks, no one will be allowed to speak because he's the sponsor of the bill. All right, Mr. Conti.
Thank you, Mr. President. And with all due respect to my colleague from the 7th Ward, I'm not sure if we are reading the same ordinance or not, but let me just clarify a few points here. Ambience. Ambience means atmospheric background music. It's not the main form of entertainment that you might have. Restaurants, retail establishments, it's piped in music, it might be a small acoustic or whatever. That's what ambience means, and it's not something that you really need a license for. And it's just to clarify that as well. This doesn't expand any requirements or anything regarding neighborhood associations or business improvement districts. In fact, it places limitations on the amount of time for comments coming back. So right now, the law provides that neighborhood associations, business improvement districts within the area where the applicant is, they all receive the application with a right to comment. They don't have a right to deny an application, but to comment on it, and that can sometimes extend a long time. This maintains the ability for people to have a right of comment. Wow. Why would we object to that? But it also places a strict limit of 2 weeks from the date the application is submitted. So it places limitations on that, and it also eliminates the requirement for a public hearing, which is one of the biggest complaints. Public hearings, 90%, 95%, maybe even more, 98% of public hearings. No one came, except maybe the applicant, and answered some standard questions, but they were really a delaying factor and a waste of time. This does provide relief, actually, for the city clerk's office. Right now, the city clerk has to annually review the applications, review renewals. If an application is granted in November, they have to renew it again in January because it's an annual calendar year application from January 1 to December 31st. There's no prorating, there's no 12 months after it's been approved or whatever. If you get approved on November 1, you have to come back on January 1. This provides a 3-year license provision. That's significant relief right there. It provides what we call a rolling expiration. So it expires every 36 months, regardless of the date. That means that the work of processing applications, first of all, is reduced by, I don't know, about 2/3 or whatever from what ordinarily would happen, or even more, and it's staggered over the course of the year, so it's not at one point you all of a sudden get a flood of applications. So that provides relief right there. And obviously going from a 3-year application with a fee for a 3-year period versus an annual with a fee for an annual application every 3 years, you're also reducing the application fee that supports the administrative work on the clerk's office and the cost to the business. I don't know what more I can say. I mean, in any, from any point of view, this significantly, oh, and the departments that we eliminate, by the way, are eliminated. They're gone. So you're not going to have the fire department, you're not going to have planning, a law department having to weigh in and sometimes delay them. And those departments had an absolute veto if they didn't recommend a denial. They're gone. Just police and buildings with very defined standards upon which to review them. From every perspective, this is a much better process. It streamlines, makes things easier for applications to move forward, get done on a timely basis with clear written requirements in terms of any type of conditions that may be put on and things of that nature. So we can either decide to adopt this, move forward tonight with a much better process, and if the next council wants to move in a different direction, nothing is precluded, but we have an opportunity tonight to provide immediate relief, important relief for businesses, an immediate extension, 2-year extension of all existing licenses that might otherwise be coming up in a couple of months. So there's opportunity here tonight to move forward, or there's opportunity to stay where we are for I don't know how long. I'm not going to be here next year, obviously. I don't know what the next council might do, but you're going to have to go through the whole process again while you still have a current system in place. Isn't it better to make reforms now, make the system easier, move forward now, and give yourself the breathing time in the next council, if that's what you want to do, to be able to, with the time and methodically go through the process and create a system which works? That's the question before you right now tonight. I would urge members to vote yes on this. I think it's a good proposal moving forward and just provides relief now that we need to provide. Thank you.
Thank you. Can the clerk please call the roll?
Adams. Anani.
Present.
Ballerin.
Yes.
Conti. Yes. Farrow.
Yes.
Flynn.
Present.
Frederick.
Yes.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
No.
Keegan.
Yes.
Kimbrough.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
Robinson.
Present.
8 yes, 2 noes, 3 present.
Ordinance passes. Continue on with ordinances held. Ms. Frederick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice ordinance 138125 and asks for its passage by roll call vote.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the ordinance?
In ordinance amending ordinance number 46-10223, which authorized certain purchases by the City of Albany, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $600,000, and authorized the lease financing or issuance of $600,000 serial bond of said city to pay the cost thereof. DGS fuel station and distribution system by increasing such authorizations to $800,000.
Discussion on this. Ms. Frederick?
Just to reiterate what was said during caucus, this is not a bond for this year. This is amending a bond that was authorized last year. Due to inflation and rising costs, we have to increase the authorization amount to appropriately be able to pay for the cost of fuel storage and distribution systems. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, can the clerk call the roll?
Adams. Anani.
Yes.
Valorant.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Farrell.
Yes.
Flynn.
Yes.
Frederick.
Yes.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes.
Kimbrough.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
12 in the affirmative, 1 present.
Thank you. Ordinance passes. Continuing on with ordinances held, Mr. Conti.
Sorry, my mic wasn't on, but I can repeat that.
Yes, please.
I notice ordinance 21.91.25 requests passage and a roll call vote thereon.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the ordinance?
An ordinance to repeal Chapter 75, Policy Document Repository of the Code of the City of Albany.
Discussion on this ordinance. Seeing none, can the clerk please call the roll?
Adams.
Yes.
Anani.
Yes.
Valorant.
Yes.
Conti. Farrell.
Yes.
Flynn.
Yes.
Frederick.
Yes.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes.
Kimbrough.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
13 in affirmative.
Ordinance passes. Continuing on with ordinance held, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice ordinance 22.92.25 I ask for is to be read and voted on.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the ordinance?
An ordinance authorizing the sale of 27 Alexander Street, tax map parcel number 76.65-1-62 to Rosemary Quispy.
Discussion on this ordinance. Seeing none, can the clerk please call the roll?
Adams. Anani. Valorant.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Farrell.
Yes.
Flynn.
Yes.
Frederick.
Yes.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes.
Kimbrough.
Yes.
Love. Robinson.
Yes.
13 in the affirmative.
Ordinance passes. Moving on to, continuing with ordinance held, Ms. Frederick.
Thank you. I move to discharge from the Finance Assessment and Taxation Committee from further consideration of ordinance 60-102-25.
Any objections? Seeing none? Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Frederick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice, ordinance 60-102-25 and ask for its passage by roll call vote.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the ordinance?
An ordinance amending ordinance 107125, which authorizes the sale of various city-owned properties to the Albany County Land Bank.
Thank you. Discussion on this ordinance? Seeing none, Mr. Adams?
I'll just mention that the lawyer that came in today to speak as the representatives brought out some very valid points in regards to the perception of how we're moving about this eminent domain.
This is the ordinance on
Okay.
Albany County.
Apologies.
Resolution is not up. That's not up yet. Ms. Frederick?
Yeah, just for clarification on that, this is an ordinance that we already passed back in August. If you look at the supporting memorandum to this, there were some minor changes to the particular parcels that we passed that wasn't aligning to the land bank's process, so we just have to redo this ordinance tonight.
Thank you. No problem. Can the clerk call the roll?
Adams.
Yes.
Anani.
Yes.
Valorant.
Yes.
Conti. Yes. Farrell. Yes. Flynn.
Yes.
Frederick.
Yes.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes.
Kimbrough.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
13 in the affirmative.
Ordinance passes. That's all for ordinance. Mr. Kimbrough?
Thank you, Mr. President. The rest of the ordinances on the agenda are held.
Thank you. Moving on to resolutions introduced. Ms. Keegan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to notice Resolution 126, 111, 25R, and ask for its passage.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the resolution?
A resolution of the Common Council in recognition of Native American Heritage Month.
Discussion on Okay, seeing none, since you're all co-sponsors, we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution passes. Continuing on, Mr. Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 127.111.25R and ask for its passage.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the resolution?
A resolution of the Common Council recognizing November 2025 as Epilepsy Awareness Month.
Thank you. Since you're all co-sponsors on this as well, is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution passes. Continue on introductions of resolution. Ms. Frederick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 128-111-25R and ask for its introduction.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Common Council reappointing Francis A. Cosgrove as a member of the Board of Assessment Review.
Thank you. Mr. Kimbrough.
Thank you, Mr. President. Referral to the Finance Committee.
Thank you. Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I like the introduction of Resolution 129.111.25R.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the resolution?
A resolution of the Common Council reappointing Gabriela Sabata Mora as a member of the Sustainability Commission.
Thank you. Mr. Kimbrough.
Thank you, Mr. President. Referral to the Council's Planning Committee.
Thank you. And continuing on with resolution introduced, Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to introduce Resolution 130.111.25R.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the resolution?
A resolution of the Common Council reappointing Jody Smith Anderson as a member of the Sustainability Commission.
Thank you. Mr. Kimbrough.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's also a referral to the Council's Planning Committee.
Thank you. And now moving on to resolutions held. Mr. Clark's not here, so is Mr. Kimbrough, are you going to do this resolution?
Ms. Farrell.
Ms. Farrell?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. I notice, on behalf of Councilmember Clark, I notice Resolution 121-101-25R and ask for its passage.
Thank you. Can the
Introduction
clerk?
and passage.
Can the clerk? Yes, Mr.
Go ahead, just read it. I'm sorry.
Can the clerk please read the resolution?
A resolution of the Common Council authorizing a public hearing regarding acquisition by eminent domain of 502, 504, and 506 Rapp Road North for construction of a solid waste transfer station.
Now, Mr. Hoey.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I haven't talked to anybody on the council. I did hear the gentleman tonight. I've always had a problem with eminent domain. I brought this up before, that when was the last time it was done in the city? I think that I'd like to table this if I can get a second.
There's a second on tabling this? We have a second. Mr. Flynn? Okay, well, I'll take a vote. All those in favor of tabling this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So we'll have to do a roll call vote on this motion to table. So will the clerk please call the roll?
Can I make a friendly amendment if Mr.
Pardon
Hoey-
me? Say that again,
Can I
sir?
ask for a friendly amendment from Mr. Hoey's?
Well, he's got once the vote is on the floor, he's already tabled it. It's already up for vote. You cannot ask for a friendly amendment.
I was going to ask if we could, with the consideration of reconsidering it in December, giving them a month to get new appraisal.
Well, I can always revisit. He's just tabling it. You can come back in December and he's just tabling it for tonight. So can the clerk be called the roll on tabling this resolution? Is there any discussion on the table of the resolution?
Can you just please explain the vote and what a yes vote is and what a no vote is?
Sure. If you vote tonight to table this resolution, that means we will not be voting on this tonight, and we will have to untable it at a further date.
So if you vote yes, that means you support tabling. If you vote no, that means you don't
Yes.
support the tabling.
So can the clerk please call the roll?
Adams. Yes. Anani.
Yes.
Ballerin.
Yes.
Conti.
No.
Farrell.
No.
Flynn.
Yes.
Frederick.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Hoey,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Keegan,
No.
Kimbrough,
No.
Love,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
9 yes, 4 no.
Resolution is tabled. And there's no more resolutions. Mr. Kimbrough?
Thank you, Mr. President. The rest of the resolutions on the agenda are held.
Thank you. Any miscellaneous business? Mr. Conti?
Can I just ask for a point of clarification on the motion to table?
We have the appraisal.
When an item is tabled, is it required that it be tabled to a date certain, or is it just permissive that at any point anyone can make a motion to take it off the table?
Now, you want to go from my experience on the council about tabling? Because I remember I had something tabled and there was no date given, it was just tabled. But I'll let the, since we're
I've had
different,
different
since we're
experiences on the
different
council.
council now, I'll let the attorney
Ask
answer that
the
question.
council to.
No, that's correct. There is no date certain. It will remain tabled until there is a motion to take it off the table that passes with a majority vote.
Thank you. Mr. Kimbrough?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned.